video, then I'm going to show you how to fill in the gaps with your content, with your products. We're going to take it to the next level. Blogging, tweeting, Facebook, that's great. That's going to get you mass exposure, a nice audience. But there's times and there's ways that you're not going to be able to reach specific local customers. So that's what we want to do today. We're going to focus on targeting your YouTube videos and driving that traffic right to your front door, finding people who are searching for problems in your area, searching for solutions, and you're going to be there to provide them. And what we're just talking down in front here, it's a very inexpensive platform right now. You're looking at 10 to 20 cents per view, depending on the type of video that you promote, and we'll go into those too. And you're going to get about a 15% click-through rate, because you're going to be very targeted, pre-qualifying this traffic. So you're talking $1.50, $1.50 click to your website from YouTube. That's pretty good. So every presentation you go to, there's mandatory statistics. 20% of desktop users have search with local intent. I said mobile intent. 40% of mobile searches have local intent. So if people are on their phones, they're looking for things in the area. And you're going to find that 90% of mobile users have searched with local intent. That's a big portion of a mobile public looking for specific things that you probably already offer. So we're going to look at, there's types of videos that you're probably already creating. This is sort of an advanced level class for Podcamp. So you're already creating videos. If you're not, use this as a bullet point of specific types of videos that you'd like to start to create. Do product demonstrations. What shows people better than you using your product for them? Show them what it can do. Even show them what it can't do. Show the limitations. Be honest. Be transparent. Solve their problems. Problem-solving videos are huge. If you can add the words "how to" before any product or service you do, you will be targeting your audience like you've never done before. A how-to search builds a trust immediately. If someone searches for how to make a wedding cake, and you're a cake designer, show your process, show how you do it, and show why you do it better than anybody else. Conquest your competition. This is a big one. And we're going to get into conquesting by location too when we get into the AdWords part of this. Show why your product's superior. Compare your competition. Don't be afraid of them. Don't worry about what they're doing. Take your product, put it right next to their product, and show why yours beats them hands down every time. Maintenance and repairs, again. Be there, be transparent. We all know things happen. We know things go wrong. If someone's searching specifically for something that's wrong, be there to help them. Give them the answer. You may not sell that service. You may not be maintenance or repair, but you can certainly be there to give them the solution, gain that trust, gain that authority. And testimonials, huge. Especially, you may hear about local reputation management, using review sites. Let your customers be your voice. Let your customers create your brand. You can't create a brand anymore. The business doesn't own the brand. You're going to find out that your customers own your brand because of how social we are, how mobile we are. Let your customers define who you are by the experience and service that you give them. And then finally, a little shameless plug. If you're looking for more content ideas, tomorrow I have a second session on getting content from anywhere in your organization, anywhere in your business. We've got 10 solid points there. So your goals of video marketing, obviously you want to influence some decisions of your target market. Stay in front of your customers. They may come to your website, they'll probably leave, they'll go to Facebook for a little bit, they'll go to YouTube, and you can be there for them. You can be there in front of them. By making videos, you're making sure that you stay in front of them during their decision-making process. They're going to go through several ways. You'll start to map out the buying process. You may have a sales funnel already. So what you're going to do, you want to be in front of them during all those critical stages in your sales funnel. So use your videos everywhere. This is the last slide, and then we're going to get right into the AdWords meat of this. Obviously, we're posting those videos on YouTube. Why? Just like in the Pittsburgh Dow presentation, that's where the audience is. Be where your fans, be where your customers are. Write and share about them on your blog. Take those videos, Get transcripts made. You can do that relatively inexpensively. You can do it yourself. It's very simple. That text becomes a very nice indexable form of your video. Share on Facebook. Share the YouTube video on Facebook. You'll start to share Facebook videos or upload videos directly to Facebook, and you'll notice error after error. You'll notice problem after problem. Your best bet is to share your YouTube video on Facebook. Link to your email newsletter. Build conversation around Twitter. Find people who are talking about them. Suggest, hey, I was just talking about this, and I solved that problem for a customer the other day. Obviously, Google+. You should have a Google+ local set up by now. You can put your videos on there as well. So, we have this content created. We have blogs, we have Facebook, we have YouTube. And we're going to reach our audience. We're going to reach the audience that we built. How do we get beyond that? How do we get people in our local area that are going to see our videos, see our message, and relate directly to us? We can do that with Adwords for video. If you have an Adwords account already, you log in, and it's not real obvious when you're in the Adwords platform, but it's down here at the bottom. You'll see all video campaigns. Click on that, you'll be able to start a new video campaign. There you go, just waiting before you get the photo. I don't want you to miss it. So, when you create a new video campaign, you're going to find out it's a couple steps, and when you do it, nothing changes. It's going to be the same thing every time you do this, and you're going to start to build this arsenal of targeted videos. And if you do specials, like we do in the audio industry, we may pre-roll a Honda video when you watch a Honda-related review video. If you're watching Honda Civic, I may pre-roll you a related Honda Accord incentive. But those change every month, so what I do is you build this library, and you can change them out as you go. So you want to name your campaign, and you put a budget. You can start $5, $10 a day. We're talking 10, 15 cents a view. On average, it's going to fluctuate a little bit. So you want to name it, set your budget, and then deliver it. Do you want to deliver it standard or accelerated? Standard is going to take your budget and kind of spread it out throughout the day, whereas accelerated is going to keep forcing it and forcing it and forcing it until you use up your budget. So you can target the world or your own backyard. This is where local video marketing becomes very powerful. You have 4 choices, all countries, all territories. That's the world. And as you go down to let me choose, this is where we get highly targeted local videos. So on the right here, you'll see advanced search. And what I did in this slide, it's pulling up something that's very familiar to all of us, Google Maps. You've seen this interface. You know what this looks like. So up here in the top corner, we searched for Pittsburgh, and it gave us the Pittsburgh area. So in this case, if my business was, if I was just a retailer of high fashion or jeans, and I wanted to target a metro area, I would target my video, talk about new arrivals, new product lines, new designers, and this is probably where people are going to walk into my business from Pittsburgh area. But let's say I have maybe a huge competitor in Monroeville, or there's another huge population area is Monroeville. We can target that area as well just by searching for Monroeville. And the other way you can search is what's called radius targeting. If you target by radius, I'm going to pick, say, Gibsonia, and I'm going to go out 10 miles. So in this case, it's just going to target anybody within a 10-mile radius. So that's different ways. You can start to spot a map. If you know where your customers are, or you can go big. You can go Pittsburgh, you can go 50 miles. And once you complete that, you click Add, and then you're done. So we just targeted specific areas for our local videos. Now, let's pick the video. Let me go back real quick. You just, obviously select the video, and then a series of your videos will come up by your channel. You'll have, you can put your channel in there, and it'll say, pick videos from this channel or this channel. And once you pick your video, you're going to add the headline. You'll see the description, and you can pick a thumbnail. And then these will start, it's going to show you 4 different types of videos that you can target. You can let me choose. If you decide to pick which format you want, you can show in some of these, or you can show in just one. Your choice. And that's what I talk about next slide. So the 4 types of search of videos. When you're going to do promoted videos, this is where you want to focus. You want to really understand what these do and why they're there. They all sound so similar at first. You have in search, and these are the ones that appear right in the search results. So if someone's searching for designer jeans or specific designers, you can be there. You can be right there in the Pittsburgh area. In-Slate. Now these are going to come before long format videos. So if a video is over 10 minutes, you're going to see an In-Slate ad, and you rarely see these. You'll see, pick one of these videos, and then your video will play. And that might be good if you were in the design. You may want to do it before maybe a fashion show. If there's a recorded industry show. Ad formats and display. This one, same thing. This is while the video is playing. I lost myself. There we are. This screen right here. While the video is playing, there's going to be your promoted video. So think of this as a featured related video over here on the right-hand side. And finally, the in-stream. This can be very powerful. When you're watching Pittsburgh ad, there was a video that popped up. That's an in-stream ad. You heard them yelling, let it play, because they actually get revenue share, which is good for them. That's their business. That's a great business to be in if you can do it. But you can be there in front of them, and especially in front of any related video in your area. So what do we do once we got our video selected, we have it in the ad stream. Now what are we going to do? We're going to enter a display URL and a destination URL. These are 2 different URLs. You want to think of them completely differently. The display URL is what the customer will see. Let's see if I have a screenshot. The display URL is what they'll see. So in my case, if I'm doing for Ask Gorilla, I would have askgorilla.com / related title. But the destination URL, which we're going to use a tracking URL, if you're familiar with tracking URLs, and I cover that in the second session that I talk about. What you do is you actually tag that URL. It could be the same exact URL. It could be yourwebsite.com, and then something identifies that URL. So it changes a little bit. And there's a free tool from Google. It's called Google URL Builder. If you search for it, it's always the first one that comes up. And you'll enter 3 things, a campaign, a name, and a source, and click Generate. And it'll actually create a trackable URL for you that you can enter in Google Analytics. Or that you can enter, and you'll see that data in Analytics. So you'll be able to track, when people watch my video, and they came to my website, what did they do? Did they stay? Did they take action? Did they submit a form? And you start to track and become measurable and become accountable. The companion banner. 2 formats, 300 by 250 or 300 by 60. The 300 by 60 goes on YouTube, and you'll see it over here. And you also see it to the right of the video whenever it plays on the display page. The 300 by 250 will go on third-party networks or in the Google Display Network. Go on down. So the final stage, we're going to schedule, deliver, the frequency, and the target. We're going to set these things. So when do you want this to run? If you know you have a specific campaign, a specific event, like Podcamp's coming up, I may want that to end tomorrow night and not think about it. So I can schedule it to end. Or if I know I have an event coming up in 6 weeks and I don't want it to start running for a couple weeks, I can start it in 2 weeks from now. How do I want it to run? Do I want it optimized for views, for conversions? Obviously, we know Google is a big math giant. It calculates everything possible about visitor behavior. So this ad rotation, decide how you want your ads to be displayed. How often do you want an individual to see them? That's what the frequency capping is. Do you want them to see unlimited impressions where they could see your ad 1,000 times, and until they take action? That's when you get charged for it. So the bidding, this is where it gets fun, believe me. So it works fine if you bid high. This is if you do just a single ad format. There's a max cost per view, and you'll see this typical range here is from 23 cents to $1.13. That's what they're saying if you go simply by, if you want to do a max cost, because there's different formats. Remember those 4 formats? Each one of those costs a little different. What I suggest is you understand your market, you understand the 4 types of ads that you want to run, and now look at the typical range. In search, a penny to 92 cents. In stream, a nickel to 14 cents. If you understand how your market's on the move, if they're on mobile, if they're looking for something specific, and you hit them with an in-stream ad right when they search for something, that's very powerful. And you can do that for a nickel. So, we've targeted by distance. You can also target by what people are searching for, what their interests are, and specific keywords. YouTube is broken down into content, or categories, I'm sorry. Art and entertainment, autos and vehicles, beauty and fitness. You can drill down. In this case, I drilled down to business, industrial, advertising, marketing, and boom, I put it over there. So people interested in that may also be interested in the content that's on my website. So I'm going to target people specifically looking at content in that area. You can do the same thing with demographics. So this isn't just people who are looking at content. These are people who have told Google, I'm interested in this type of content. That's a little different. It's people who already have expressed that interest in your products. And then down here at the bottom, this is where I spend most of my time in AdWords for video. It's called advanced options. This is taking specific keywords. One of the things I found, I'm in the auto industry, one of the things that I find is that people searching have much more intent than people who have expressed interest. And you see that, people talk about Facebook ad network. Facebook ads get displayed based on people's interests. And that's not necessarily what they're interested in at that moment. But when I know when someone's searching for something, I know that they have intent. A search to me is intent. You don't go out, pull your phone out, search for something if you're not looking for something specific. So I spend a lot of my time, these are the advanced options. You go through and you actually pick, you enter in keywords. You start to push them over. Every time you select one, if you add them in here and Google suggests it, you click the add button and it's going to put them into your campaign. That's intent. People search for that. I don't know why I picked skateboarding dog. It must have been a late night. So skateboarding dog, I'm going to target people who search specifically for skateboarding dogs, which you won't believe how many people actually do that on YouTube, whether or not you have a related product. But that's the point. You can target exactly what people are searching for. Now, remarketing. The next phase, whenever you're creating your campaign, is called remarketing. This is able to take people who have looked at your video, and then do you want to give them another message later? So, for example, let's say I was looking at a pizza shop, because I believe this can work for any business. So this is going to be a tough one. We're going to pizza shop, and somebody searched for how to make a pizza. So I'm a pizza shop, and I'm like, here's how you make a pizza. You find the phone book, you call me, and then here, I'll bring you the pizza. It's kind of funny. It might be a good pre-roll video, that in-stream video. So I know that person watched video of my how to make a pizza video. I know that they're interested in pizza. So maybe they were going to make pizza that night, but a week later, we know that they like pizza. So why not have a second stage in this process where we're showing them a video related to pizza, local pizza, the ease of using my pizza delivery service. So remarketing can carry that conversation along. If somebody expressed interest by watching your video, think of that sales funnel. How do you move them along the sales funnel? Each link targets closer and closer to that final sale. And that's what remarketing can do. You're building a list of people who already expressed interest. You're keeping them in a bucket. YouTube calls it the remarketing bucket. And anytime those people are back online, your videos have a higher chance of showing. So it's an extremely powerful tool for staying in front of your prospects. It requires some initial planning, and I'll go into that. It requires a strategy. Obviously, why do you want to remarket? What's your message? What's your process? What's your plan? And you do this all setting up a library, and you're going to see how easy this is. And obviously we'll revisit, we'll go exactly through that. Again, YouTube Video Display Network, same thing. You put your keywords in, submit them, and you're done. Okay, so back to remarketing. Your campaign's complete. So you pick the area, you pick the video, and you pick how you want to target it. That's it. It's 3 steps. It's 3 steps all the time, every time. Going forward, you want to create a remarketing list. Remarketing, it takes a little bit of prep. You do it before you do the campaign, and what you're going to end up building these lists of people. So the first thing you do on the left-hand side is called Shared Library, and you'll see the video remarketing list. Click that, and then you're going to do a new list, a new remarketing list. And this is literally how easy it is. Select the list type. So are you looking for people who viewed any video from a channel, viewed a video on a channel page, viewed any video? You select the criteria, and you're done with it. That's all you do to create the list. That's the criteria. So how did they look at it? Did they comment? You can target people who commented on your video. How engaged is that person? That person liked your video enough to leave a comment, even if they liked the video. So now you select the channel, you name it, and you assign a link to it. That's it. Open it up, and it's done. So now that your video is created, you can do remarketing lists. There's image overlays. This was sort of the bonus content of this whole presentation. So once you have everything created, there's 4 tabs across. Videos is a tab that we're looking at right now. And this video in particular was how to embed a Google map on your site. So we did add the call to act overlay, and the screen pops up. Again, very simple process. Headline, a call to action description. This is the display URL. This is what I talked about earlier, so keep this in mind. Your display URL is what you want the customer, the visitor, to see whenever they pull up that video or it shows up in a search result. Destination URL is that tracking. So you start to see this question mark, UTM _ source equals. And like I said, Google will generate that for you using the Google URL builder. And then an image. If you have a hosted image, if you have your own WordPress account, you can pop an image up in there, and then it'll show in that ad over top of your video. So an image overlay shows up right here. So if I'm playing this video, there's the overlay. So the first 5-10 seconds that video is playing, you're going to see this ad. It's a call to action on your video. How powerful is that? Somebody came to your site, they looked at this video, and then YouTube is allowing you to link off to your site. You can't do that currently. There's talk of Google and YouTube allowing you to link from videos off of your YouTube page. That's coming soon. Keep an eye out for that. But currently, using the Adwords system, you can do this overlay over your video and target a very specific call to action. And now, this is the ninja tip for today. So, well, first I want to tell you, this is kind of transparent. So if you have a lot of text, if you have a lot of graphics down at the bottom of your videos, leave that first couple seconds blank or try to keep it off to the side, because you can see through here, and if there's text there, that overlay will become difficult for that visitor to read. You want to have that call to action as unobstructed as possible. So here we go. Super bonus tip. Why is this important? This campaign right now is actually paused, but this is a live screenshot. So you're saying, well, why is your overlay showing? It's the way the system's set up right now. You can actually go through Google AdWords, create a campaign, pause that campaign, create an overlay, and that overlay will still show with the call to action. No charge from Google. It's just going to run. It's going to continuously run. When it initially first launched, you could actually target any video anywhere, and people are going crazy with it. They kind of toned that back. You can still put an overlay on your video with a call to action without actually running an AdWords campaign. And I'll show you right here that campaign is paused. So back to that Google URL builder. This is important not just for video. This is important for anything that you do. you should track all your URLs. You should track it through, if you do regular pay-per-click advertising, if you do guest blog posts, your posts on Facebook, track it so you can tell what's going on. And it's a very simple process. If you remember, these are the two forms where I told you about when you first create the ad, you do the destination URL, and if you want to do an overlay, you do a display URL and a destination URL. And here's how you track it. Search for Google URL Builder. Very simple to do. You paste in your website.com. You enter a source. Where is this going? In this case, for you today, you're going to do YouTube video. So your source will be YouTube. What's the medium? It's a video. We're doing a video overlay. And then what's the name? We're going to call it, video ad 1 or whatever you want to name it. And when you click generate, you'll get this URL that you can track, and it'll tell you exactly what that visitor did when they came to your site. You can use that for QR codes, very big. So now you can take the physical world, somebody scanned a QR code, you can tell when they scanned it, where they scanned it, what was the medium they scanned it on, and then what did they do once they got to your site? Did they stay for a while? Did they submit a lead? Did they fill out a form? Did they click X number of pages? And that wraps up. It's kind of high level. I was really excited to present this. I know it's a little more than we usually do at Podcamp, but I'm so glad that everybody attended. I'd like to open up to questions. If anybody has any questions on AdWords for video. I left everybody kind of yes.
If you're using a video as a pre-roll ad, how long of the video is optimal?
Yeah, generally 15 to 20 seconds for a pre-roll. You don't want to get crazy. You're going to lose the attention of that audience. You want it to be quick. You want to be, here it is, here's whatever I want to tell you about, and I'm out. Click and then give them the call to action, tell them to come to my website. But don't do pre-rolls over 20 seconds. They say 23 seconds is the max that you see when you see different data, but I tend to try to keep it to 15 to 20 seconds.
Can you speak a little bit more in detail about the 4 types of videos and give some examples?
Oh, sure. Let's go back. So yes, there's 4 types. There we go. The in search. So if you were to do a search in YouTube, using the search bar right at the top of the screen, and you search for cowboy pants, we'll get a little crazy. And that will come up either in the search results. Sometimes you see 2 in the very first top 2 positions, and then up to 3 on the right-hand side. That's the in search. So if someone specifically searched for your product, you can be 1 and 2, or over on the side, 3, 4, and 5. In the paid search results, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Of course, that's all dependent on bidding.
Yeah, bidding. Yeah. And like I said, these are going to generally run in the 15 to 20 cent range. Now, these kind of the In-Slate, you don't see these often unless you're watching long format videos. What happens is you click a video, it's over 10 minutes. YouTube says, I'll show you your video, but pick one of these 3 videos to watch first. And when you watch this video, your content will stream, or you can just wait, I think it's 20 seconds, 20, 30 seconds, and it'll pop in. Then you don't have to watch anything, but you gave up 20 seconds of your life. So this one is the in display. This is when the video is playing. It's also very powerful because, on the right-hand side of YouTube, you see related videos. So think of this video, the in display, as a promoted related video. So it's going to be at the very top of the right-hand column. And finally, in-stream. Very powerful. The one I use a ton of. And what happens is, this is somebody pulled up a related video related to your content that you defined in your AdWords campaign. And you told YouTube, if somebody watches this video, please pre-roll this video before that video. Pre-roll, or we call it in-stream on YouTube. And this plays before the main video they selected to watch. You want to keep it as relevant and tight as close as possible as the type of content that's on there. Is that better?
You're targeting a specific video that they watch or a subject matter?
You can do either. When you go through, first you select, select your video, you select where you want to show it, and you select how you want to show it, and to who. So you can search by demographics. So if I was in race cars, if I was a racing fan, and someone just wrote about a brand new engine that they're using in a Dodge, and I sold Dodges, that would be something I would target before that, because they're interested in that type of content.
So you would either know specifically which video you wanted to have go in advance, or a video about Dodge engines?
Yeah, you can specifically select videos to target. That's correct. Sorry, Dennis, I'm sorry.
Including your competitors?
Yes. Yeah, you can and especially based on area, based on location. That's why I remember I showed you the map, and I showed you specifically Pittsburgh. And then what if you had a competitor right there in Monroeville? Target the heck out of Monroeville's backyard.
When you say 10 to 15 cents per view, is it whether they watch 1 second or 30 seconds?
It's on average, and it's when the video is completed. So they have to watch your video. So if they skip this ad, and like when you heard Pittsburgh Dad yelling, watch the video, whenever the pre-roll came up on the Pittsburgh Dad session, because they don't want you to skip that video, they want you to watch it, so they get a little action. Any other questions? I hope I gave you something to think about. I'll be available. I'll be here both days. Again, I have a second session tomorrow. It's on generating content ideas from the things that are already in your business, tapping into emails and phone calls and the questions that customers ask you. There's 10 action-packed tips. It's tomorrow at 11. I'm on there as well.
Do you have more time?
Yeah, sure, let's go. I'm ready.
So you want to talk more about remarketing?
Sure. Just start from the top. You good. Remarketing, you want to make sure that you think of it as a before thought. So you kind of need to have a strategy. You don't just want to jump into remarketing. Although you can just set up a library. One thing I suggest, if you want to do just a basic level remarketing, is set up a campaign of just people who watched your video. Start there. And then by the time, when you get to 100, then you can start to remarket to these people. So let that video run. You get to 100 in a couple days. Because you're going to have so many, you'll see at $10 a day, 10 cents a click, you're almost there right there. So using that technique, just using that bucket, think of it as bucket. You're going to put these people in the buckets based on their interests, based on their actions, based on what they did on YouTube. So if they took and they just watched your video, start that as your first remarketing project. Dump them into a bucket, call it just general. Call it a general bucket. Those are people who expressed interest, they watched your video. So the next phase of it is when you create your second video. If you kind of think of the conversation process. One of the things that I do, I look at people in the auto industry, they came to the site, whether or not they submitted a lead or not, what's the next question? They probably want to know what their trade-in value is. So in my case, I'll look a lot at, what did they do? What's the next step? The next step is let's get them a value for their car. So that's the way I think of remarketing at my job. Then what you can do from there is you think of that next conversation, your next video targets those people that you've already isolated. You've pulled these people out, you said, I want to target people who have watched my video, they're interested in my content, they're interested in my subject matter. What's the next step? How do I move them forward in the process? That's how you want to think of remarketing. As far as creating the remarketing, as you do it as a pre-thought, let's go back to the different types. I'll go over them real quick with you.
What's the cookie length or these are people who have watched your video how recently?
If you look down here, you can set it, the membership duration. You have them assigned up to 540, that's a year and a half. So if you know what their buying process is, some people have a buying process of, depending on your industry, maybe it's a week. If it's pizza, it's 30 minutes. If it's a car, it could be 6 months to a year. So we're looking at 540 days maximum duration. You can drop people in a bucket who looked at your video for 540 days, and then you can target to them for a year and a half. So let me go back to the types that you can target. You have viewed any video from a channel, from your channel, viewed a channel page, viewed your specific channel page, you viewed any video, list, so blurry, I can barely see the one. Link that, can you see that okay, or is it too, okay. If you liked any video from a channel, so if you went to a video specifically, you watched something specific, if you're in pizza, wedding cakes, auto, and you click like, that's a pretty engaged customer. That's a very targeted person that you want to make sure that you drop into a bucket. If someone clicked like on my video, I want to make sure I give them more videos, right? If they commented, that's even bigger. That's bigger than liking. They took the time to write out something, thank you, shared their story. They're very engaged in your videos. They're very engaged in your content. If they shared any video, did they embed something? Or did they share it with their friends? Did they click that link? Did they unsubscribe? Try to get them back, right? If you did something that they didn't like, find a way, apologize, do something, target them, show them your passion for your product, show them the passion for your business, win them over again, the same way you won them over the first time. Again, commented on certain videos, disliked certain videos, liked certain videos. Again, that conquest, targeting your competition, targeting related videos and content.
On that call to action ad, can you pay per click, or is it just per view?
It's for the click. You'll pay for the click. Yeah. For the action. You say, visit my website. Here's a special offer because you watched this video, or here's more content. Maybe you just want to move them through that selling process. So you'll give them maybe it's an article, a related article that you wrote with maybe a call to action at the bottom of that article. Any questions from the back? Anybody? Last call. I appreciate it. These are great questions.
You want to tell us about Ask Gorilla before we leave?
Yeah, sure. Ask Gorilla is a new project that's I wrote a post for Podcamp. It's on their website right now. Speaking 2 sessions today. This is the first one on Adwords for video. The second one's on content. And Ask Gorilla is it's becoming this network. It's becoming an independent consulting for you, 24/7. You can actually ask me a question. You can go to Ask Gorilla, ask a question. I'll answer it for you. I'll link to your website. That becomes part of the content of the website. So you can get free marketing help. I'll be glad to help you. In exchange, let me turn it into a piece of content for the site. And you'll get free advice. The second part is there's going to be these short, little digestible products, little books that solve little problems, how to. There's this content creation presentation that I do on Sunday. That should become the first product that will be on it. It's a new project, just launched and just getting underway. I'm really excited about it. It'll also move into sort of like a membership area where we'll take posts that give tips. And there'll be like premium members that'll get maybe 10 action tips to go with it. So if you read an article, the gold members, the premium members will get the ability to get like bonus content. Just being like an insider. I'm very excited about it. It's completely free. There's nothing, I'm not charging. You don't have to sign up. You can go read. There's 50 some articles on there now. Enjoy it. I hope you do. You can send me some feedback. Question?
How do you spell that?
Ask, A-S-K. And Gorilla, Gorilla. My name's Jeff Ravilla. Growing up, I was a bigger kid. They called me the Gorilla. I was Gorilla Ravilla for a while, and it turned into Ask Gorilla. That's how it came about. I'm the Gorilla. I do appreciate it. Great questions. Kept me on my toes. And I'll wrap it up so you can get to your next session. And I'll be around in this room till 10 o'clock. Or what, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Which way does the clock go? 11 o'clock, right? Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.